Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Off-Farm Income Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us here on our YouTube channel for episode number 1033. Well, today we are exploring the world of coming into the FFA with no agricultural background. You know, this is something that we have profiled many, many times on the Off-Farm Income Podcast, and it is always amazing to me what these students experience and how it changes kind of their focus on the rest of their life after coming into the FFA. So today we're speaking with Missy Hamilton. She's going to be talking to us all about starting a candle and wax mold business and her pursuit of now becoming an agricultural education teacher. It's a really cool story. Happy to have you here to hear it, and we're going to get it started for you right now. Missy, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, you bet. It is my pleasure, and I'm looking forward to finding out all about your supervised agricultural experience and learning more about you. Let's start off with you. So where are you talking to us from today?
I'm from Bardstown, Kentucky,
All right. What's the name of your high school?
Nelson County High School.
Okay, very good. Well, so tell us about Bardstown. What goes on in Bardstown?
Well, we're kind of a small town. There's not a whole lot going on, but we are the bourbon capital of the world, so we get a lot of tourists. Um, we have two high school ag programs, and last year we just started two new middle school ag programs, so that's exciting.
That's really good. Man, I like to see these middle school programs popping up, getting students involved even earlier. So that's great. So the bourbon capital, what bourbons are made there?
Um, well, the distilleries that we have like Jim Beam. Um, oh gosh, there's so many I can't even think of them all.
Well, that's okay. You're in high school. You're not supposed to know all that stuff quite yet. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're not at school, when you're at home, are you on a farm? Do you live in town? Something in the middle of those two?
I actually grew up in a subdivision, so I had no agriculture background or exposure coming into high school.
Interesting. So none whatsoever.
No.
Okay. But here you are. You're a senior in high school. Is this your fourth year of FFA?
Yes.
Okay. So what brought you in? Why did you join the FFA?
So my older brother was an FFA and he was an officer and he was kind of involved, but like he wasn't like full in like I was or like I am. But he really encouraged me to join an ag class. And whenever I did, like I just fell in love. I found a passion for agriculture and I just started doing everything that I could in our chapter.
Very cool. So how much older is he?
He's 4 years older than me.
4 years older. And so you had at least that mentor, I guess, or that role model leading you into the FFA. So I mean, it begs the question: what brought him into the FFA then?
I'm not really sure. He actually started off high school in ROTC, so I don't know how he got started, but I'm
Okay.
glad that he did. It brought me to where I am today.
And have you sought out any officer roles or anything like that?
Yes, I served for three officer positions, and sophomore year I was the Growing Leaders Vice President. Junior year I was a secretary, and this year I'm currently serving as our chapter president.
Awesome. Good for you. What a pathway you had. So, this is really interesting. What do your folks think? I mean, both you guys don't come from an agricultural background. Both you and your brother participate in the FFA. Both of you are officers. You're achieving at a high level. I'm sure your parents are very proud, but are they caught off guard?
I don't think they're necessarily caught off guard. I mean, I don't really remember when my brother first joined,
Uh-huh.
so I don't know how their initial reaction was with him. But whenever I joined, like they were kind of used to it, but they're very proud of where we're at.
That is great. Well, good for you. That's very inspiring, and it's good to know. So how is being part of the FFA different for you when you've grown up without that exposure? You live in a subdivision, and then you get into an organization when you've got students that are coming off of farms and students that, they start out their FFA career already knowing, say, about livestock or about tractors or about all those different aspects of agriculture. How is it different for you?
So, like you said, I didn't come from that background, so I couldn't. Whenever I had to choose an SAE, I couldn't walk out my door and I didn't have cows
Yeah.
or anything like that right there. So like I really struggled.
Gotcha. But you found your way through, obviously. So what
Yes.
was the key to that? How did you get that done?
I just had to be creative and lean on my advisors for support. And I did a lot of Googling for ideas.
Okay. Yeah, I do that myself. A lot of YouTube for me. When there's
Yes.
something I got to figure out, it seems like somebody else has already figured it out, and it sure helps you get there quicker, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, for sure.
Okay, very good. Well, you mentioned your advisors. How many do you have there at Bardstown?
We have two.
Okay, or I should say at Nelson County High School. Who are those folks? We love to acknowledge them on the show.
It's Megan Bishop and Claire West.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for doing that. Let's talk about your supervised agricultural experience. I want to learn what you've been doing.
So, like I stated earlier, like I really struggled, and I wanted to find something that I could do for my home that didn't really. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. I wanted to find something that I could do in my home that my family was supportive of.
Okay.
And after a lot of research and like looking into different ideas, decided to start a candle business.
Mm.
So it's called Missy's Makings, and I started in February of 2019. And it started off with just candles, but now I've expanded to wax melts, and then I also have molded wax melts that come in different shapes.
Okay. What is a wax melt?
So you put it into like a little wax burner, and it's not like a candle where it's like lit with an open flame. The wax warmer will, whenever you turn it on, it'll warm it. So like at schools,
Uh,
like they can't have open flames. So a wax warmer with a wax melt is a better option.
and so you get an aroma from it or something like that.
Yes.
We've got a company right, literally, I would say 6 miles from where I'm sitting on my farm called Sensi. They're headquartered, and
Yes.
you've probably heard of them. I think they do something similar.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, Missy, you've got to come see this headquarters of Sensi here in Meridian, Idaho. It's gargantuan. You've started a business that can take you places.
Fabulous.
Okay. So you said that you really struggled to come up with this idea. So I want to explore that for a second because I kind of did that the first time I ever started a business. I took about 2 years just really banging my head against the wall, trying to figure out what business I should start. It sounds like you had kind of a similar experience.
Yes. My freshman year, my first SAE was I tried to grow carrots in a raised bed in my backyard,
Okay.
but I had dogs and we didn't have a fence, so that didn't go very well. And then after that, I like went into doing ag ed, and I still do ag ed as an SAE, but I wanted something that was more structured, I guess, and that I could do on a steady basis throughout
Hmm.
high school. So that's whenever I decided to start a candle business.
Okay. Now it's interesting because you had options, right? You could have done a placement SAE. You could have done agri-science research, but you were bound and determined to do entrepreneurship. What was it about entrepreneurship that drew you into it?
I guess just kind of getting to like do it in my own free time and not having like to worry about, because with FFA, like life gets busy and
Yes.
it's crazy. So whenever you do entrepreneurship, you can work around your own schedule.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a great benefit to having your own business. Okay, so once you made the decision, once you found this and you figured out you were going to do this, what did you have to do next? Did you have to go buy a bunch of equipment and things like that?
Um, I did a lot of research, like with work, like looking for different companies and where to buy my supplies from. And I can't remember the name right off the top of my head, but I bought a kit that came with like a melting pot, a pound of wax, like 1 ounce of fragrance, and like all the materials that I needed to
Okay.
start off. And after that, I just sold it to like friends and family. Nothing huge yet.
Uh-huh.
So
And so today, are you selling both the Maxwell's? How did I do that? Wax melts and candles, both of them? Or have you gone exclusively to the wax melts?
I'm still doing both. In the fall, I received a $500 grant from Kentucky FFA,
Awesome.
and that's really helped me expand.
Very cool. How did you find out about the grant opportunity?
My advisors showed it to me.
Very good. I know Kentucky is great about doing that and supporting entrepreneurship in the FFA with those grants. That's really, really cool. Matter of fact, it's not just the FFA. I think Kentucky really supports entrepreneurship just in high school from what I've researched and what I've learned. So that's really, really neat. So what did the $500 allow you to do that you would not have been able to do otherwise?
So at the time of applying for the grant, I was kind of like at a hold, I guess, where I wasn't really making anything because
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff that I had sold, like at that time, I really struggled to put it fully back into the business.
Okay.
And so the grant really allowed me to expand new opportunities. And I started um, actually in January, my advisor sent an email to all the teachers at school and they bought stuff from me. So since January, I've sold over $400 in products, which was a big step for me. So I've almost gained like doubled the stuff that I had spent from the grant,
Okay.
and all of that has went back in. So that's been really great.
That is great. Wonderful. Well, good for you, and glad that you have such a supportive staff there at your school. So let's talk about sales. So you said you started off with friends and family, which is a very, very normal way to start off. You've progressed now to staff and people like that at your school. Have you been able to develop a sales funnel outside of personal contacts, or are you still developing that?
Well, I have a Facebook page and an Instagram page for my business, and I do a few sales on there. I've been looking into like doing an Etsy shop.
Uh-huh.
That's still in progress.
Okay. So still developing. Now, what is your favorite? And I want to ask you this. You've got candles and you've got the wax molds. Did you progress into the wax molds because you wanted to offer a second product because they were more popular or because you liked them better? Do you have a favorite thing that you make?
I would say I have more of a favorite scent than a favorite product,
Okay.
but actually started doing the wax melts or got the idea because I went to a vendor fair in November, not last year, the year before.
Okay.
And there was another candle business set up there, and I noticed that they also had wax melts and they were getting a lot more business there. So I decided maybe I should do that too, and I would get more of a
Gotcha.
variety.
So very much a business decision. What is that favorite scent?
It's actually lavender, sage, and rosemary, and that's like one of my top sellers.
Uh-huh. You know, that's funny. I was going to make a joke and say you need to send me one that smells like sagebrush, but that's not a joke. You've got one that's got sage in it already.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by sagebrush out here in Idaho, but I really like the smell of sage, especially in the spring. So, yeah, that's funny. Well, good for you. That sounds like a lot of fun. So, where are you taking this business next? I mean, you're going to graduate here in just a little while. So, what comes next with Missy's Makings?
I have no intentions of stopping my business anytime soon. Like I said, like this is something with entrepreneurship that you can do based around your schedule. So
Mm-hmm.
throughout college, I plan to continue, and hopefully, whenever I plan to go to UK, so I'll be in Lexington, Kentucky. So hopefully, in Lexington, I can expand
Sure.
their sales.
Yeah, you're going to have the best smelling dorm room on the entire campus.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, so you'll keep the business going. Do you know what you want to study when you get to college yet?
I'm gonna do ag ed.
Ag ed. Okay, so let's switch gears then a bit because you talked about sticking with ag ed. You're going to major in ag ed. So is your ultimate plan to return to the classroom and be an ag teacher?
Yes.
That is really, really interesting because you think about your journey or your path where your first real exposure to ag and then, of course, to ag education was joining the FFA as a freshman. Well, I guess through your brother, but then you joining the FFA as a freshman. And now you want to turn around and you want to come back into the classroom and you want to teach ag education. So, have you always known that you wanted to be a teacher and then being in the FFA pointed you towards teaching ag? or was it being in the FFA that made you decide that you wanted to be a teacher?
Whenever I was little, I remember looking through magazines and like dreaming of my own classroom one day.
Mm-hmm.
But as I grew up, that I kind of like left that career path, I guess.
Okay.
But once I joined FFA and an ag class, I just kind of fell in love. And throughout high school, I did go back and forth between ag ed and a dental hygienist.
Okay.
But I think I'm set on ag ed now.
Set on ag ed. Wow. Well, we need good ag teachers, so that's exciting to hear. And here you are. You've got your own business. So when it comes to this aspect of teaching ag and teaching students about entrepreneurship and their SAEs, you've got some real world experience to kind of come back on and lean on when you do that, which is very exciting. So as you get your certification to teach ag and you come back, I mean, there's probably going to be an area of emphasis. It could be ag economics, it could be animal science, it could be plants, it could be shop and welding and things like that. Do you have any idea where you're going to point that emphasis for yourself?
Right now, I'm thinking more towards plants because part of my co-op experience in high school is working for our school greenhouse. So that's something that I've kind of fallen in love with as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, as you go into college, obviously you can continue being part of the FFA. Have you competed in any proficiency type of competitions or anything like that at this point?
I'm actually working on my proficiency applications like this week.
Okay.
Those are due on March 25th for our region. So,
Okay. And so that will be at a state level or a regional level for this year?
yes.
Okay. And then as you get into college, you can pursue your American degree and you can do things like that. Is that on the horizon for you as well?
Yes. I've already got my state degree. I got it over the summer, and I do plan on getting my American degree.
That's really exciting. Well, Missy, I am very excited for you. And I would love to get your advice for other students out there who are going into high school. They've got zero exposure to agriculture, but here's this group, this extracurricular activity they could join called the FFA. Even if they have no interest in pursuing a career in ag, why will being an FFA member benefit them?
I would say don't think about where you come from or your background. There's a place for everybody in FFA. Agriculture is so much more than just cows, plows, and sows. Um, it goes beyond that, and just as long as you accept those opportunities that are presented to you and you push yourself and you put yourself out there, you'll succeed.
That is really, really good advice. Missy, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here, everybody, and thank you to Missy Hamilton for coming on the Off-Farm Income Podcast today. Yay, we would love to have you click that subscribe button down there and become a subscriber to our YouTube channel. And also, please follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn, everybody. And until next time, enjoy your journey to the ultimate lifestyle business, agriculture.